Go ahead.
Ready?
Go. We're not getting any better, okay?
Nope,
I'm gonna.
Absolutely not. We should have started drinking at 3 o'clock, girl.
I brought green tea shots.
Period.
And that's the
Period.
intro.
All right, goodbye.
This episode's sponsored by Green Tea Shots. Oh my goodness.
All right. Welcome to the Mix Match Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Kalana Blue.
And I'm Skittles.
This is a podcast about,
Whatever we want it to be.
I guess, yeah, whatever we want.
A little bit of drag, a little bit of pop culture, a little bit of dumbass Facebook people that we want to talk shit about. Or they don't have to be on Facebook. I'll talk shit about anybody.
Listen, stuff I've seen on TikTok, stuff I've seen on Instagram.
I do be seeing things on TikTok that raise more questions than answers.
And, like some of our favorite podcasts, they have some love it or hate it segments and some hot take segments. So we're going to throw those into our podcast as well. So
I got takes. They could be hot.
We could talk about whatever the fuck we want to.
I could be whatever you want me to be.
And this is not an all ages podcast.
Yeah, get the
Viewer
fuck out.
Discretion is advised.
Let me see a GED.
High school diploma, driver's license, state issued
You got
ID.
a passport.
You got a passport?
I don't.
I don't either. I need to get a passport.
Is this
recording?
Oh no. That's the intro. That's the intro. That's the intro. That's the intro.
So we have different topics, different segments that we're going to do for this podcast. One of the segments that we're going to do is called Snatching Wigs. And that segment is all about basically crazy drag stories. It could be good. It could be bad. It could be embarrassing. It could be tragic.
Yeah.
Everything.
That sounds like everything I'm about to talk about.
Oh, Lord. So, speaking of tragic.
Oh, God.
What about that first performance as Skittles?
We love a first performance. First time in drag realness. There's two first times in drag, obviously. The first time I ever did drag.
Don't we all have two first times in drag?
Well, no, because you're like, you put on the makeup for Halloween or for fun or something, and then there's the first time you actually hit a stage. The first time I did, got in drag was for Celebrity Day in high school for Spirit Week or
That's
whatever.
right, because you would wear heels to high school.
Oh, yeah. I love that even though you did not go to my school and you are old enough that you should not know any of the people I went to school with, I am quite well known, even now, 10 years later, for wearing heels at school.
So your first time in drag was in high school?
Yes. I developed the Skittles character in high school, junior or senior year. And I did it when you start drag, you're sort of pulling from somebody else, obviously. So I was pulling heavily from Lady Gaga and that sort of pop stardom that was really big in the mid 2010s. I graduated in 2015 for context. So heavy Lady Gaga influence. So I was Lady Gaga for Celebrity Day, junior and senior year. Senior year, I went all out. I had the heels, I had the wig, I did makeup in quotations. It was terrible. And then a year later,
you went to high school in full drag. That's cunt.
I had to ask my PE
cunt.
teacher permission to not participate that day, and I was like, "Can I please not lose points? You can obviously see that I cannot dress out. I'm wearing a blazer made of duct tape.
Could you imagine?
Please let me just sit down for the day and give me my 10 participation points." Coach.
Did Coach give you the points?
I think I did get the points. She did not like me, but she gave me the points.
So your first time in drag was in high school. When did you first step onto the stage and perform?
I would say 2018, I think. I went to an open stage at, rest in peace, Fish Shizzles, it was.
Fish Shizzles.
I went to Fish Shizzles the last month it was Fish Shizzles. And I get in drag, and I go to the next open stage. I'm wearing just a face of Maybelline Fit Me, some eyeliner, some mascara, no lashes, no eye makeup, barely lipstick, and a unicorn onesie pajama set from Walmart, under which I do have a black bra and a black panty, and then I'm wearing some black boots. They're heelless boots. Again, I told you, Lady Gaga era. I did this song. I don't remember it. I wore the unicorn onesie the whole time. I fell in my heels.
We've all been there.
It was bad. I fell, but people told me afterward, they were like, "Oh, you did great." I was like, "You didn't see me fall."
You timed it correctly.
They were like, "You fell?" And I was like, "No, I didn't." And then after my number, it got too hot in the bar because Fish Shizzles didn't pay for AC. And that was like my first show. It was so weird. I didn't have any friends there. I had one friend there.
You can't do an open stage and not bring your friends.
If you
That's the
don't-
whole part of an open stage, so you can win.
And
you
I
have to
didn't
bring your
win.
friends.
And I didn't win.
Because you didn't bring any
Yeah,
friends.
I don't have any friends. I still don't.
Well, you have me.
And you were not there, and you were not clapping.
Was I in Dothan?
Yes, this was. So I did my open stage. I would literally say like maybe a month before you came back to Auburn, because the next couple shows I went to, I think one of those shows they started integrating you as MC. So our paths crossed like pretty soon. Like we've been working together basically almost the entire time I've been performing. But you weren't there the first time. But I would say I don't know if did you go to the open stages?
Yeah.
Okay. So there was, I mean, I remember you being there for some of them. You were there the only time I won an open stage at Derailed, is what Fish Sizzles became.
Derailed. Well, eventually, I think by the time it became Derailed, I had kind of schlooped in as the host.
You were,
That's how you get your foot in the door.
Yes.
You know? Well, and it helped because...
See a need, fill a need.
See a need, fill a need. I just had a whole year in Dothan to kind of like practice.
Yeah.
Basically. Because it really helped me, figure out who Kalana was. Because when I started drag at the Pockets, at the Hot Pockets...
That's a memory.
I was a senior at Auburn University, and it was basically like... I tried drag.
Was it an open stage or?
So it wasn't an open stage. I was going with Cora to the bar every weekend, and she would paint one half of my face, and I would paint the other half like one step at a time.
Well, that used to be, you used to just show up to the bars in drag and talk to the girls.
That's how
and
you
eventually
network.
they'd let you on stage.
You kind of still have to do that today.
I think it's more of an
Honestly.
impression than social.
I
I know a lot
think
of
it's-
bigger cities care more about social media, but I want to know like who you are as a person.
I think the boots on the ground networking, that says more to me than your 14,000 followers on Instagram.
You can still buy followers in 2024.
Rip. I was going to the Pockets basically every week because they were having shows every
Yeah.
week. And
miss
so
that.
I was learning how to do my makeup with Cora in the dressing room. I would tiptoe around at the show in drag, but I wasn't performing yet. And then finally, Darlin was like, let's do a hot spot.
You want to talk about people I saw?
Talk
What a
about
drag. Darling Clementine.
memories. And she was like, you can hot spot at the end of the show or whatever. And I was like, period, let's do it. I'm ready to perform. I had my number ready for whatever it is. I was ready to go.
She's like, I keep a USB in my tit.
Ready
at
to go
all
in my
times."
titty at
Yeah.
all times. Professional. The number started. I jumped on stage.
What was your number?
Came Here for Love or Sweet Lovin'?
Bye.
Sigala.
Sure.
But it was featuring Alex Newell. You're
Okay.
sweet, sweet loving.
This
won't
is
you put
like
it on
Glee?
me? At
Post Glee?
Post Glee.
But before
Before
Alex
Broadway.
Newell became
Before Broadway.
a
yeah.
god.
Of course, when you hotspot, right, you're the last person in the show. And these pocket shows, sometimes it was like 4 or 5 entertainers, and they did like 3 numbers. So it was a long show. And I'm at the end. Nobody.
Right?
Right?
the stage, this bitch.
Literally, it was like crickets. They're like, who? Right? Because they've seen me like tiptoeing around in the crowd, but I've never been on
They're
stage
like, I know
before.
her.
Right? And I am
I've seen her.
busted. Okay. I think I am hot shit.
If you
but
look
I
really
am
good your first time out in
busted.
drag, I don't trust you. You have to look like a melted wax statue first. That's the rules.
Nothing can be blended.
Yeah.
My number starts, and I'm feeling my zhuzh, honey, but the audience is not feeling me at all. Because, again, I'm a nobody. So they had these fans on the stage at the Pockets because there was no air
No AC
conditioning.
again.
I like kneel down in front of the fan and I'm like whipping my hair and feeling my zhuzh. And so I go to get up from the fan and that fan has caught into the fishnets that I am wearing.
How did you do that?
Only me, okay? Instead of unhooking myself, I just kick the fan across the whole ass room. And the fan goes flying into the audience and everybody all of a sudden starts paying attention to me. And I'm like, okay, I've got your attention now. And people are like living. They're like, oh my God, yes. And so I do my little, 8 count, little twirl,
She
spin,
has
dip.
that it factor.
You know.
If it was assault.
It was assault. And so I did my little number, and a monster has been born ever
A
since.
monster has been born. Stupid.
But my first time, I mean, that was my first like nightclub performance.
Yeah.
I was Mother Superior in Nonsense one time
Uh-huh.
in community theater.
That awakens that's the kind of thing that awakens something in you. That I wish I had that. I did not do any extracurriculars, not even theater, not band. So I had to I don't know, I probably would have started drag even sooner, or at least gotten into makeup and costuming and stuff even sooner if I had been allowed to do. But I just didn't. I don't know. My parents didn't let me do extracurriculars because we didn't have the time or money. So, but if I had been a theater kid, I think I would be even more of a problem.
I wish I would have known that I could have been a theater kid, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't do theater until I was in college already.
Did you do choir in high school or just college?
Show choir. I mean,
Yeah.
I did show choir, but we didn't, unfortunately, because of the high school that I went
Yeah.
to, we didn't have a theater program
Yeah.
because we didn't have a high school.
Yeah.
So,
Did you do show choir competitions, or was it just all?
yes.
Okay. Because
Show
I know
choir
not every
competitions
school does
galore.
just in general, not every school competes. Like the high school I went to, they do show choir competitions, but they don't do or they didn't. I don't know if they do now. They don't do band competitions.
They do now.
They just do.
They
They
do now.
just did the games,
Oh,
the
that
halftime
makes
show.
sense, yeah.
Yeah. So that, if you were in band, you missed out on that whole separate part of being in a band kind of situation. I know because when I did middle school band 1 year because
1 year.
I didn't like
Modest.
I didn't like to practice.
Nobody does.
I played clarinet. I infected my entire reed rotation, all 5 reeds, and so I was just miserably sick for 2 months, the whole winter
Dumbass.
of school. And I was like, this sucks. I can't play, and I don't want to practice, and I feel like shit. So I'm gonna quit, and I quit. I wish I'd stayed with band, but also, I don't know. I probably would have quit just later.
I wish I had an opportunity to do theater at an early age. I wish, half of me wishes I would have gone the performance route, but half of me is glad that I went the education route.
Yeah.
But if I'd have went the performance route, as soon as I was starting to perform, COVID
Yeah.
would have shut everything down.
I can't imagine being. I mean, I say that I was gonna say I can't imagine being a creative during the pandemic, but I am. I obviously as
I mean, we were creative.
when we
Now that I sit here and look back at it, I'm like, I still could have done theater.
Yeah.
I still could have been an entertainer because I feel like
yeah
no matter had I gone education or performance, Kalana was already born.
exactly
So even if she was put on a shelf for a minute
yeah
and then came back out during the pandemic, who knows what would,
that was
you can't
weird
look
to
back
pause.
and,
we basically
whatever.
just paused drag.
We paused life,
Yeah,
Speaking of pausing, let's take a break.
a break.
Are you tired of the same old coffee shops? Looking for a place where you can truly relax and enjoy an artfully curated cup of coffee? Look no further than Coffee Mafia, Auburn's only queer-owned coffee shop. Our expertly crafted lattes and espressos are sure to satisfy your cravings. But that's not all. We offer a variety of mouth-watering breakfast and lunch options to keep you fueled throughout the day. In a hurry? Grab a Red Bull and some snacks from our grab-and-go section for a quick bite to eat. From our signature ice crack to our bagel sandwiches, there's something for everyone at Coffee Mafia. So come on down and experience the difference. Coffee Mafia, your locally owned LGBTQ coffee shop, open 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Located at 414 South Gay Street, Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah, well, not
Lots
in drag.
of 'em.
I don't have pores in drag. The Maybelline Super Stay gets rid of them. House paint, baby. Sherwin
That's what a
Williams.
good primer is for.
I wear the what's that one that Jeffree Star wouldn't shut the fuck up about? Not the Tatcha one, but the cheap one that the Elf motherfucker the poreless
was
putty
good
primer.
stuff.
Yeah, no, here's what I've been told. I'm poor, so I'm gonna use it until the tub's empty. The tub is not as good as they make it in a squeezy tube now. The squeezy tube formula is better than the tub. Don't ask me why. The problem is I already have a tub, So I have to finish the little pan before I'm willing to commit the $6. It's not $6 anymore. Nothing's $6 anymore. Not even a cheap mascara. Drugstore mascara, $12
I
now.
remember when Elf stuff used to literally be $1,
$2.99,
$2,
$1.99,
$3. Like literally.
Oh, we're back.
Literally. Literally.
Stupid. So
our real hot take
yeah,
was Canada versus the world.
which is over. Before we recorded this, it's been over. And so it's going to be super over when this is published. But it doesn't matter because drag races are sports. So this is what you get.
I'll be honest. I was upset about the oversaturation of Drag Race until I heard Katya and T.S. Madison
Yes.
talking about how they were so grateful to have all this queer representation because when they were coming up, there was nothing.
That's even
And
something.
I think I kind of took it for granted for a little bit.
I mean, they're both older than we are.
Absolutely.
But I will even say, and I'm fairly young in terms of queer media because queer media still has a long way to go.
I get it. I
And
do.
even outside of Drag Race, we do have more content than ever before, but I feel like it's not.
I think it's because of Drag Race, though.
Oh,
if
absolutely.
Drag Race was not
Yeah.
as pivotal as it was, there would not be any
Yeah.
of this drag movement in mainstream.
Or even, I think there would be less queer content, not just drag. So we're gonna do hot takes for Drag Race Canada versus the world, even
Canada
though
versus
it's
the world.
over. Stupid.
I still think it's relevant though because
I mean, they're current. Listen, they're relevant as long as they're current ratings. So who gives a fuck?
exactly.
I mean,
you
spoiler
took
alert.
the words out
Somebody
of my head.
won.
Spoiler
What is your-
alert!
what's
You
your
should know who
first-
won.
Well, yeah. Well, by the time this comes out, if you don't know, Jesus.
Who won, Skittles?
The yellow one. The yellow one. Listen. That's speaking of oversaturation. Something I've learned as somebody who took a break from Drag Race and is now trying to pay attention again. There's a lot of queens, and I don't know their names.
Who can keep up?
I cannot. No, but congratulations to Lemon, who, by the way, this is even funnier because I was like the yellow one. I've been
Because you
following-
are a yellow one.
Lemon is one of. I am a yellow one. I honestly, this is the year for this. Knock on wood. I would like to say it's the year for the yellow ones because we had Nymphia win. Spoiler alert! If you're really behind, Nymphia win.
Oh my God! It is the year of the yellow.
Drag Race season 83, 84, 17, 16.
Is that the wide
16.
production storyline? The year of the yellow.
Maybe. Well, if it is, then I need World of Wonder to reach out and cut me a check.
Baby, that ship has
'Cause
sailed.
I'm not having a good year, and I would like to win $200,000 and a spot in the Drag Race Hall
I
of
would
Fame.
love for you to win $200,000.
It would be fantastic. You want a gay bar in Auburn? Give me $200,000.
Baby.
Stupid. Do you have any other hot takes from Canada? Other than, I mean, congratulations to Lemon. You did great. You're yellow.
Congratulations, Lemon.
I would like everything that Brooklyn Heights wore. That's it.
Are you tired of the same old coffee shops? Looking for a place where you can truly relax and enjoy an artfully curated cup of coffee? Look no further than Coffee Mafia, Auburn's only queer-owned coffee shop. Our expertly crafted lattes and espressos are sure to satisfy your cravings. But that's not all. We offer a variety of mouth-watering breakfast and lunch options to keep you fueled throughout the day. In a hurry? Grab a Red Bull and some snacks from our grab-and-go section for a quick bite to eat. From our signature ice crack to our bagel sandwiches, there's something for everyone at Coffee Mafia. So come on down and experience the difference. Coffee Mafia, your locally owned LGBTQ coffee shop, open 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Located at 414 South Gay Street, Auburn, Alabama.
So now we're done talking shit about Canada versus the world.
I guess.
So we're going to move on to our next segment. This is very much a classic podcast, love it or hate it, sort of. Kind of, we're just going to rapid fire talk about things that we love or hate. But because it's drag, we don't love it or hate it. We work it or tuck it. Work it or tuck it. Work it or tuck it. For those of you that are not queer or just not in the know, work it, good. Tuck it, Bad.
Terrible.
Terrible.
Awful. Get rid of it.
See, terrible T. Tuck it T.
Not the
Phonetics.
alliteration.
I'm hooked on phonics, baby.
I think my favorite thing about this segment is you've come up with your 3 work it or tuck it's, and I've come up with my 3 work it or tuck it's, and we don't know what each other's going to talk about.
I think we should keep it that way.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Skittles, work it or tuck
Stupid.
it. Mixes that last longer than 5 to 7 minutes.
Tuck it.
That was quick as fuck.
Yeah. Her name rhymes with Serena. And I love her so much. You can keep this on. I love her so much, but her mixes are too long. And I hope she's doing well in whichever Carolina she lives in now. First of all, as somebody who's done a drag mix that's almost 7 minutes, what do you have to offer that you can't do in
Baby,
4
nobody's
minutes?
that entertaining.
No,
I am so
no.
sorry. Unless your 5 to 7 minute mix changes music that much,
You better be telling a whole,
it better
a
be
short
a
story.
goddamn soliloquy. Do
Yeah.
you hear me? A goddamn soliloquy.
Because here's the secret about drag. Most drag performers only have enough tricks to get through like 4 minutes. Maybe 5.
Crickets.
7 minutes? And some of these girls are doing 10,
12?
12, 12,
15?
baby, 15. Do you know how many other performers could have gone? We could be at Whataburger right now if you had not done your 15-minute mega mix
3 entertainers could have performed
with
by the time you finished.
terribly spliced together songs that do
Awful.
not match, but it's still 15 minutes long. So yeah, tuck it. I personally am a big fan of, this is me being lazy, first and foremost. I don't do mixes. I pick a pop song that's 3 minutes and 32 seconds, and that's my number. And you know what? I've done a number that's 1 minute and 45 seconds, and some people will say that's too short. You're absolutely right, it's too short. I don't make enough money when I do that number. But when I'm tired and I want an encore, I pull that bitch off not the jump drive because those aren't real, the Google Drive. Okay, so my work it or tuck it is understaffed bars. This is inspired by a conversation we had like a month ago.
Fucking tuck it. Listen, this is the thing that makes me upset. Do not ask my opinion and then turn around and do the exact opposite of what I told you. If I told you that I'm going to have a drag show here and that I need you to have 4 bartenders and a bar back behind that bar, and I show up on Friday night and there are 2 bartenders.
Maybe 2.
Maybe
2.
There's 1.5 because one of them's sitting on a bar stool half of the night. Tuck it.
And if it keeps happening, baby, if you know it's going to be busy.
And that's why her business is closed.
Oh.
Work it or tuck it.
Go ahead, give us your next one.
Work it or tuck it. A costume reveal that takes longer than a minute.
How many buttons is that? That's so many snaps. I have lots of feelings about reveals. And as we've seen on All Stars 9, a reveal for the sake of a reveal is not a good reveal.
You leave Nina alone.
Nina in her 32 matching dresses that she could not take off. If you put a gun to her head, sure. It's just not impressive to me and I understand like rehearsing can be difficult, or obviously in the real world, not everything works like you rehearse. So maybe the snaps don't work right, or maybe, you missed a mark or something like that. I do think some people do a reveal just because they're like, oh, I have to do a reveal. Oh, I have to wear something under this. If you have one really good outfit, just wear that one good outfit. Don't wear 2 shitty outfits that have Velcro just to say you did a reveal. And I'll add another to that. Do not buy an oversized coat that is perhaps in a previous life a shower curtain with no snaps. You're holding it closed.
Name them.
It's me. I have that pink coat, and I will keep wearing that pink reveal coat. I hate a big coat that looks like you're wearing a bunch of trash bags, and that's your reveal, is that you were wearing a coat. Because the divas of 90s drag could come out in a real fur coat, and baby, that's a reveal because they're wearing a real fur coat.
Dead. What's your next work it or tuck it?
Do we read the whole email? Nobody reads the whole email anymore. I don't know if that's a work it or tuck it, but read the whole email.
Work it. I'm for reading the whole email because what I would like for you not to do is to ask me questions that I have already addressed in that initial
Thank you.
email. And listen, this is a heads up for all of you show directors, anybody that creates a group message for an entertainer. Before you create that group message, in your notes app, you should have typed out that first initial message with every detail that is needed. Call time, where to email your music,
The location of the venue.
the address of the venue. Yes, it's on the flyer, but some people don't pay attention.
Oh, include the flyer.
If it's ready,
Yeah.
include the flyer. So if you are a show director, before you create that group chat, honey, go ahead and have all of that information typed out, ready to go. So you can copy it, create that group chat, and once you create that group chat, boom, drop that message right there, ready to go. That way, because if you don't, if you create that group chat and you let it sit there for more than 45 seconds, people are going to jump in. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
How are you doing? Oh my God, hey everybody, I'm so glad to be here. Oh my God, are you doing this show too? I don't have time.
But also, know in your heart that even if you do read the whole email or message, and even if you do explicitly state instructions, please only submit MP3. Please only send to this address. Please do not be longer than this. Everyone in the chat is just going to send you a YouTube link to not the official music video, but some sort of stolen version of that
Yes.
song that is much lower quality, and that
Sounds like a tuna can.
Nobody's gonna read your email, nobody's gonna read your message, and I am gonna start hurting people over it. What is your next work it or tuck it?
Work it or tuck it. Baby entertainers having drag kids. Work it or tuck it.
Tuck it. If you don't have anything, okay. Nobody knows what a drag family is supposed to be anymore.
That's the problem.
It's not
That's the
clout,
problem.
baby. It's not clout. You're not. This isn't an MLM. You're not trying to find as many people as you can to sell your candles. A drag family is something that exists beyond drag.
It's what we've created.
What you're doing is you're creating a support network. This is not somebody that you bring to every show and they carry your suitcase for you. This is somebody that like is with you out of drag, and you live with them, and they have picked you up from bars when you've drank too much, and they have
Supported you through a breakup.
help you stone an outfit because you're not good at stoning. They
Help you get ready for a patch.
these are people that like are actually part of your life and actually care about you. That's what drag family is, because drag families are, and this harkens back to something that I think a lot of people have forgotten, just chosen families. A chosen family is like this network of people that you have because you don't have your blood relatives, or you need a support network outside of them. Drag children and drag families are not a name or a brand.
It's not a commodity. It's not collectibles.
And if you don't have anything that if you do not have wisdom to impart, then you should not.
I think that's a little bit of the delusion there, though.
Drag is delusion. However, if you have not been doing this a while and you have not, tried things and failed things, and I've said this 80 times this episode. I've been doing drag for almost a decade. And I don't have a drag parent of any sort. So it's very much been Instagram tutorials, YouTube tutorials, people reading me in the dressing room saying that this looks messed up and I need to do it differently. And it's been piecing together what I should and shouldn't be doing. So I have lots of real world, actual experience that I can use to help people hone in their craft,
Part.
And I try to give that wisdom, and I don't even think it's reserved to just drag children. I just like even you, like if you were like, hey, does this eyeshadow actually look good? Hey, what do you think about that costume, that reveal, that number? I'm going to be like, hey, that number could be good if you
Exactly.
like edit it this way, or like
That's
that.
like-
I was like, maybe that number's really good, but the audience didn't get it. So like maybe only do this number if you like think this is the crowd for that kind of number.
And a good example of that is today, Danity sent me a Snapchat and she said, that number that you did on Saturday, I loved it, but it could be if you did it this way. And it wasn't like a read, it was just like a different way of like looking at it and
Yeah.
making it a better number.
Especially if you are working, and I think this is just good life advice for any creative. Work with people and surround yourself with people that do different kinds of art than you. That's something that our little cast.
I
of
love that
people,
about our Misfits.
We're not. None of us are really doing the same thing.
We are all completely different. There is not one singular person
So
on
there's
cast.
so many
that is
varied
doing the same thing.
ideas. Yeah, and it's
And
a
that's
great
why I love
sounding
our
board.
Misfits.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love it so much.
What's your last work it or tuck it for this episode?
My last work it or tuck it. This is an automatic work it. Sorry. My last automatic work it or tuck it is I missed the last Fresh Faces, which is our Democratic Open Stage show, but I heard so many good things about it, and I just am loving seeing all of this new drag in Auburn, especially after this. We've sort of had a dry spell where
Yeah.
it felt very much
We
like
had
it
a
was
lot
the same
of, there was
couple
like
of us.
no new queens,
Yeah.
kings, theys,
Yeah.
thems at all. So what is your work it or tuck it?
I guess just work it to all of the new people trying drag and trying to like figure it out in a time where politically it's pretty stressful to be a queer person that's doing visibly queer things. So just work it to all of the little baby drag performers in the Auburn area that are in my DMs asking when the next Fresh Faces is, when the next show that they can do is. There's so many awesome young people that I've met that for a second I was pretty discouraged, and I felt like we were gonna revert back to a time where it was gonna be always like the same, like
five
just
people?
the
Yeah.
Misfits people trying to like make it happen. And there's so many awesome people that are like, I would really like to do shows. I've even had people reaching out to me that are trying to bring drag from other cities. They want to try and do shows in Auburn. They want to come to Auburn from 3 hours away.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, that's
I'm
phenomenal.
here for it. Well, that's like anytime, and you see it in the group chat, anytime other people locally or close by are doing like drag
Yeah.
shows or something, I'm like, best of luck to you. What
Yeah.
can I do to help?
Absolutely.
What can I do to support?
We
We are community over competition.
there's
here.
no monopoly. Like there's not like, oh well, like there's already
We're
a show
doing
in
a show.
Auburn.
You can't have a
Yeah.
show. That's not how we do it here.
I'll come do your show.
I'll come. Baby, I'll come
Yeah.
watch your show because I'm
Exactly.
tired of doing shows.
I would love a night off where I can just show up and give you $1.
So
That's
I
great.
will also say work it to the new
Yeah.
entertainers. I will take it a step further and I will say work it to our new AFAB entertainers
Absolutely.
because they are out here doing things that a lot of us, I would say, traditional drag entertainers are scared to do.
Absolutely.
And so I am excited to see every month what gets put on that stage at Fresh Faces and what keeps happening and new things that are coming.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that.
It's super cool to see. I mean, I've always been a sort of. I hope I don't say this and people think that I'm pretending. Skittles has, in I'd say the last 2 years, she's sort of leaned a little more bimbo femme presenting, but the Skittles concept has always been very androgynous, finger on the pulse with like pop culture.
Yeah.
She's not a woman. She's sort of a representation that could be misinterpreted as a woman kind of situation. I've always very much enjoyed alternative drag. And so it's really great to see alternative drag come to the South and be not only that they're getting booked for shows, and they need to be booked for more shows while we're
Right.
at it. If you're a show director and you're listening to this, book non-traditional drag. But it's also
That's
just
a
great
whole
to
nother
see
conversation.
Absolutely. It's great to see alternative drag performers existing. Some of them are thriving, and good to see that there's still new concepts and types of things being explored in the South, where our drag is often written off to always be sort of pageanty Southern Belle showgirl, when in fact some of your favorite drag creatures are from the Southeast. And
While they
there's
may
just-
have started there at
Yeah.
the Southern Belle Drag, they did not stay there.
Yeah. it's so cool to see people find out that drag is not one thing, and then in fact drag is just this sort of beautiful smorgasbord of different fun things for you to explore. And I think even this sort of is a kind of a call out to people that do more traditional, you know, illusion drag or drag that's traditionally like you're presenting as masculine or presenting as feminine. Maybe just for funsies, you don't even have to go out, but like in your home, explore something weird and different, because you could learn something that even if it doesn't help you do more alternative drag, it may help you do the kind of drag you're already doing. If you
Right? Yeah.
if you're not trying new things, I think you're not really trying as an artist. And
Right.
since art is supposed to be like ever changing, like a chaseable goalpost, keep chasing it.
Keep chasing it. And we're going to take a break.
So we're back, just to tell you we're leaving. Anyways,
So
I
we're
guess
back to
we wanted to
Sabrina.
touch on a couple last things before we say goodbye. And in this godforsaken first episode, you're not gonna know how terrible it was, but I promise
3
you.
hours later.
Yeah, fucking SpongeBob credits. 37 hours later. So I hope you have that email address ready, because if
got
you have anything you want to send us, if you have your own work it or tuck it, you have a bad photo of you in drag that you want to send for us to talk shit about, baby, we'll listen. We are not doing video yet, but we will do video, and we'll upload our own photos of bad drag, but
Absolutely.
the more the merrier, because we all started ugly, except for
I
you,
promise
Danity.
you,
Fuck you.
we'll make fun of ourselves first, and then we'll move on to you.
I have so many bad photos of me in drag. In fact, to this day,
It could be a whole episode, the both of us,
I
just
took
bad
like
drag.
last month I took bad photos in drag.
As long as you know.
Baby. I just sent you a photo in the group chat the other day. She was, I don't know how this woman got on the ground, but she got on the ground. And her only reply was, I'm so glad they didn't take a picture of me getting up off the ground. Which is also my mood in
There's
drag.
no lie detected.
Stupid. But Kalana, what email can we send all
So
of
you
these
can
beautiful
email-
messages to?
You can email us at mixmatched, MXMATCHED podcast at gmail.com. There will also be a social media, Mixmatched Podcast, Instagram, TikTok. I'm not doing Facebook. Fuck that. But
I mean, we'll make a Facebook that just posts the Instagram post, but
you're
maybe.
not wrong. You're not wrong.
The DMs go to the same app.
All the DMs will go to the same place. But
Stupid.
if you DM us on social media or send us an email, we will be sure to include your own Work It or Tuck It, or maybe you have your own Snatching Wigs segment that you would like to tell us about. If you tell us about your embarrassing story, we will monopolize on that on this podcast for sure.
Just bother us. I don't have enough emails to read every day.
I
So
do.
send me, give us a follow on social media. Give us a follow on your podcast app. Listen to future episodes. Your input and your listening is important. Obviously, podcasts only work if people are listening to them. So give that a whirl, because our egos really need it. Oh my goodness.
Thank you so much for joining us for our first episode of Mixed Match Podcast. I'm Kalana.
And I'm Skittles.
See you next week.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Good, I can go eat my food now.
I'm so excited for this room temperature Baby Bell. Are the mics still hot? New drag name called it room temperature
That's
Baby
some
Bell.
That's some ASMR. I'm so excited for its room temperature,
Yeah.
Baby Bell.
Stupid.
Yes, we are.
Oh, she is room temperature. This wax is warm.
Oh, do I need to get you another
Squishy. Listen, cheese can be room temperature for a while.